I introduced our worship earlier on with the theme of rejoicing and being full of joy. And I don't have the technology available to me here, but last week we looked at a Hope Lift story. And I just want to share a story which is about hope, it's about rejoicing. Just on Christmas Eve, I had a client through some of the work that I do. I had a client to see in a local hospital. And he's somebody I've been working with for the last 2 years. And he's on a journey of faith. Being in hospital, obviously he's not a well man. And he was facing and continues to face some tough decisions about the future and possible surgery and the like. But in our journey together and in our sharing of life, faith has come up on a few occasions. And probably the week before that, I was visiting him again in the hospital and just asked whether he'd like me to pray for him or even with him. And he said, I'd love you to pray before you go. So I did that, and when I saw him on Christmas Eve, the first thing he said to me, something is happening in terms of the prayers that have been prayed. And he had talked about a program he saw that was talking about God and the Jews, and he just felt that very much God was on his case. And so we shared quite a bit about that as we were talking, and then we needed to see some hospital staff, and after that a nurse came back in to dress a wound that he has. And before she could do that, he just said to the nurse, nurse, if you don't mind, just for a moment, would you just pause from doing that, because I'd really like my friend Roland to be able to pray with me here and now. And so with an invitation like that, why wouldn't I want to do that? And I was able to, and the nurse stood there, and we were able to pray together. And I want to share that story because I came back to my family. I wouldn't normally be doing a visit on Christmas Eve, but I felt it was the right thing to do. And I have to say, I guess a little bit like the shepherds when they had seen Jesus there with his parents in the manger there, in the cattle trough. And they went away, I believe, rejoicing because of what they had seen and heard. And I came back and saw my family, and I have to say I was full of joy because of the privilege of just being used by God to be able to share faith, to be able to be courageous, I guess, in offering to pray for people and with people, and just where things stand currently with this client that I'm supporting. So I just wanted to share a story of good news with you, what God is doing and how he is at work. So I hope that encourages you and puts you in a position where we can together delight and be full of joy, being rejoicing as God's people.